What's going on, everyone? Anthony Cofrancesco here from Data Dive, and we are live in New York City right now. I'm here with Peter Paul from Intellivy, and what we're going to be doing today is going through the Intellivy standard operating procedure for optimizing click-through and conversion rate. Now, if you've been watching Office Hours, you've seen that we've already done some initial work with optimizing this kids binocular niche. Now, the process that I went through to optimize click-through and conversion rate was largely manual. And what we're going to be showing today is an opportunity in the business where instead of spending a ton of time doing this, you can actually just spend some money with a company like Intellivy and get a much deeper level of insights. And that's what Peter Paul is going to be walking us through today.
Yeah, it's absolutely great that we have this opportunity, like being here at Innovate New York City and grab this moment to sit down together and do this. This is really unique. It's really unique. So I like it. Normally we're all sitting on the Zoom screen and you see us on screen, but this is better, much better.
I totally agree, and I'm excited for you to walk me through. We're going to do all of this in real time. Right now it's about 12:18 on the East Coast right now. And so we'll see how long does this workflow take. If you remember from what we showed in our SOPs, I spent almost 3 hours myself doing a lot of the image concepting. And I think what we're going to do right now with Intellivy is going to be far deeper than anything that I did manually.
Yeah, exactly. So from my point of view, of course, like polling, Intellivy is a polling platform.
Yep.
But polling is a mechanism, or it's kind of like a tool that you use in market research. And to me, like polling on its own, if you just do an A/B test on its own, it doesn't really give that much of insights. So because it's out of context. The way we see it is that you have to think about the journey of the consumer around your product. So you need to understand the stage of awareness, consideration, and purchase. So we guide you through that process in our DRAB platform, and we help you to do those steps and simulate each step in a simulated marketplace.
Yep.
So that brings you to the point that you understand what the decision drivers are. Because a buyer is checking boxes in the mind, emotional, mental, they're checking boxes. And by checking boxes, they're kind of like figuring out in their information gathering process, this is the product I want to buy. Now, if you are capable of simulating that, you know what is needed to optimize your listings based on insights that come from real consumers. So we're going to do that today.
Okay.
And we're going to do it about a product, and I already tested it. I'm from the Netherlands, so it's a very, very difficult word for me, but it's binoculars. Is that correct?
Kids binoculars, perfect.
Kids binoculars. What I find interesting, by the way, about product, that a binocular is like kind of really close view of getting things bigger. So if we speak about data,
it's kind of the same thing.
Did you pick it because of that or not?
No, this is just random, but we're definitely going to pull out the binoculars today and see what we can see.
So I like it. So what we're going to start with is the first thing we're going to do in the process. Anthony spoke about an SOP. The first thing we're going to do is start with a purchase variable.
Okay.
And the purchase variable will expose the double reason that avoid buying. So it's called DRAB in short. Yep. And if you are in our platform, so I see Anthony's on the screen right now. He is in the platform. You go to growth hacking because we're going to test the current listing. So you can go to the tab growth hacking.
Okay.
And then we're going to count DRAB.
Okay.
And then we're going to DRAB your listing.
Okay.
And then create poll.
All right.
And the instruction will pop up on the right side. And by just clicking in the bottom right corner, you can hide that. But it will help you to generate this poll. You give the poll a name.
All right. So
maybe to name it baseline, something like that. Because it's, I don't know, something like that. Because we're testing out for the first time.
Okay.
So let's do the baseline. And then the button generate with AI. So our polls start with situation insights. I already said it, like the journey of a consumer is awareness, it's consideration and purchase. Now, if we speak about awareness, they have to be in the position of like, imagine yourself looking for a binocular for kids. So now you see three options. So you can choose three. The first one is always problem solution. The second is replacement. And the third is a gift. I think this gift item might be best. And then you can edit it a bit if you want, because you want to get them to the point as if they're going to buy a binocular. That's what you want.
I'm going to go with the first one. I really like it just from knowing a little bit about the product. Like a lot of people are buying these. They want to go on hikes with their kids. They want them to get more engaged. So I'm going to go with this first one if that's okay. Yeah. I think that one really relates well.
So and what's going to happen is that respondents are placed in that situation, and the first thing we ask them is like, hey, before you see the product, now you're in this situation, what would be important to you? So you're going to grab information about wants, needs, and desires that people might have if they're buying a binocular for kids.
Okay.
So then the second step is we're going to fetch the product from Amazon.
Okay.
By simply take the ASIN from the Amazon Marketplace, then go to the platform.
Let me see if I can find it. If not, I'll pull it from Data Dive. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so which one? We're gonna try to actually find some seller in this niche and give them all of the assets that we create in the end. So if anyone knows someone who sells kids binoculars, feel free to have them reach out, and we'll give all of this stuff in the end. I'd love to see it live. Okay.
There you go. You're already quite familiar with it, is it?
This is it. I mean, I'm going to be honest. This is my first time using Intellivy, and I've heard that the UI isn't really great or it's not intuitive. This is pretty easy. This is super straightforward.
It is pretty easy. Yeah, it is. It truly is. So thank you for that. That's
okay.
Great. So now, it is already a default setting. So you see now that the image is pulled in, the title is pulled in, and the rating and price and stuff is blurred. And this is because we don't want to have any reason saying like, oh, it's too high price or it's too less in ratings. I want to have feedback on the image and on the product and on the title.
Okay.
If you want, by the way, so let's say you're in the stage that you created a new image, you can pull in that new image. So if you click on Add a Product, then you come into the part of micro-testing. So here you see all the items that you can change. This applies for all our poll types. So you can do this always. For now, we just leave it the way it is because we're doing a baseline. This is the product in the active listing. That's what we're going to test. So you can close this thing. Then poll settings, leave it the way it is. Then segmentation. Well, because we're going to see it as, no, it's not buying as a gift. What did you do? Situation, what was it?
It's like you're going on a hike with your kids. You want them to be more engaged.
Yeah. So you're going on a hike with kids. So you are a parent.
Right.
And what is the age of the kids that people...
So I can look here inside Data Dive. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's pretty wide. So like you can see there's the heaviest is 4 to 8. There's also some search volume for 8 to 12, but I think this is the core here, like 4 to 8 years old.
Okay, I wanna say something about this is what I really like. We are always so many times talking to each other like how can we connect the dots? But this is like connecting a dot. How can you use the tool Data Dive and use the information from Data Dive and also apply it to the testing in Intellivy?
Yeah.
And you know, this is so crucial because before you know it, you're just placing it out of context. I'm using this word many times, context. Right. You have to place it in context. Otherwise, it's not relevant.
Yep.
So this is really good. So you're saying...
4 to 8 seems to be the largest cohort.
4 to 8. So then we go to the segmentation. And now you can choose, go down. Oh, sorry, advanced, 100 plus. So, yeah. And then you can select for, it's so much options that I don't know it out of my head. But there should be...
Should I search
kids. No, you can do kids, but you have to have parents with kids. Can you go up? It should be up. Hispanic, problem, English, what's your gender? No, it should be kids or children. No, it's in there, I'm 100% sure.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Children's age and gender.
You need to select a bunch of it. This is still in the demographic selection of having kids. So although you're checking 10 or 5 or so, you're checking much more now, it doesn't change the price. That's not happening at all.
Oh, am I going to get maxed out?
You need to do it slowly.
Okay, understood.
You're clicking too fast. So maybe this is the part of the UX that you just mentioned.
I see it's refreshing up here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. So there you go.
So that's a hack for anyone watching. If the buttons are a little sticky, just give it a minute, let it refresh.
Sticky buttons, we don't want that.
Okay, so this is telling me that it's gonna target people with children, anything in this group, ages 4 to 8, boy or a girl.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now then go down fully to the page of everything. Because we are going to do a sequence of polls, and we will get the situation insights, we get the dumb reasons for buying, so there will be an AI-generated top 10 list of objections. By the amount of votes, so the amount of respondents, right now it's set to 125.
Yep.
Let's say that this is the poll you do on its own, then it's fine, you know. The more data you can get, the better.
Okay.
I think you can drop it a bit. Let's drop it to 100 or 90, do 90. That's good enough. So, and then we can go to the checkout.
Okay.
And for that I need a code. So wait a minute. No.
Oh, different?
Yeah, different. We can continue, by the way, with the image table.
Okay. And so while he's doing that, I think, I'll spend some time recapping exactly what this test is for. And so the DRAB, the dominant reasons to avoid buying, is a little bit different from what I've typically seen before, where you're not saying like, hey, which image do you prefer? And it's just this, like he said, no context. The dominant reasons to avoid buying is getting into a level deeper about why the customers would not buy a product, and we're going to kind of reverse engineer that to see what are the things that definitely need to be in the listing and get some ideas about how this is already doing.
Here it is.
Okay, and I put that in for the entity name.
No, yeah. Not for. Oh, that's it. You didn't fulfill the profile. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I
thought
see.
you were in the coupon section.
Okay, so now I go to pay.
Yeah.
Do I have a coupon?
And that's this code. It will only work for Innovate right now, so maybe you can blur that, whatever. And then you go checkout.
Okay.
Now the next step you can do, because we will get, what is happening here? Oh, the situation field. I think you checked the situation, but you didn't select it. So
okay.
You have to go back. So yeah, indeed. So unfortunately, the situation that's good, but generated with AI, you didn't select it, I think. Is that correct?
Maybe I didn't, yeah. Okay.
Should be. So I hope
So I
it's still
click
good.
this one, and then I click select.
Yeah, there you go.
So now it
Then
should
go down. To type in the coupon code again. So here you have it.
CS. Yeah.
0 checkout. There you go. So that's done. Now, as said, so you will get the 90 response will say like, this would be my reason not to buy this product. That might be just about the main names in the title, I said it before, but it might also be just the product in general.
Okay.
Because maybe people are going to say like, well, my doubt will be the material, or my doubt will be the quality, or how sturdy is it, or does it come with extra features or whatever. So they might say a lot of things, and we have to scan the full listing to see, are we encountering these objections?
Okay.
Because that's the whole point. You need to kind of list down the objections that people have. Already spoke about the checkboxes. Now you need to list them down, and you need to see like, where can I encounter those?
Okay.
And of course we are focusing on the images, but you can also encounter in the listing itself, but most of them can already be done in the images.
Okay, so what's next?
Next thing we can do is go back to the main screen of Intellivy, and then again growth hacking.
Okay.
Now we're going to do optimize CVR, so that's the third option.
Okay.
And we're going to compare image tag.
Okay.
Yeah, I recommend, by the way, because you just picked up the situation insights from the DRAB. What I normally do is I create a Google document, and then I just write down, this is my ASIN, I use this situation, I use these competitors. I try to list down for myself just to make a document of the things that I did for setup. The reason is I want to use the same situation again. If you generate with AI a new situation, it will skew the results a little bit, so it will shift, and you don't want that. You want to place it in the same start to keep it consistent.
So we'll have to make, we're going to have an SOP that walks through this exact procedure, and I have a thing here which is basically for market research. And so you're saying like we would add in, if I'm saying here's the images we're testing or the tests that we're doing, make sure I have the same context, I'm using the same thing every time.
Exactly.
Okay.
So all I do, because it's my process, I create a document. And I start with this, my ASIN, then I list down the competitors. I normally also place a link into the niche dive and data dive. There I have the context, because I will show you, by the way, so that's interesting. Let's continue with the poll itself. If you go back to a new screen, so open a new tab in Intellivy again. yeah, there you have it. And then go to the purchase variable we just created.
Okay.
And then copy the situation from this one. That's all you have to do.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you have it, and then go back to the first tab with the image impact poll. So create poll.
Okay.
Again, you get the instruction from the bottom right corner. It pops up with instructions. You can hide that here. Yeah. And then we give the poll a name. So image tag baseline, binoculars. It's going pretty well, by the way, now.
Super smooth. Yeah.
And then, so now it's not needed to generate it with AI.
Okay.
And then we have to go to the point where we have to upload the listings. Now, this is the point where I go to Data Dive.
Yep.
And I go to I have to say the correct name, because otherwise, on the left in the menu,
Okay.
it is Deep Dive. I think it's Deep Dive. I use Deep Dive.
Yep, right here.
Yeah, here. Reason is that I use Deep Dive because I can collapse the view.
Yep.
And I like that because the thing is, if you are testing image tags, you might think like, okay, coming from Data Dive, based on this search term, these are my main competitors. But those main competitors might copy paste listings, which most likely is the case.
Right.
So if you're testing three image tags that are almost equal,
Yeah.
it's not going to give a lot of insights. Sometimes I even go outside my Amazon and I just search for brand stores. I go to Shopify stores and I just search for very, very good presentation of products because I want to see how people respond to lifestyle, to infographics, to different stacks.
Okay.
So I really aim for different stacks. Of course, the first stack in this example, in this case study that we're doing right now, is the one we just did for the DRAB because that's our number one.
Yep. Okay.
For sure. So we can pull that in with the async we just did before. That's the one, I think. Is that the one? Cannot remember.
Noptics, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I copy all of the images?
No, you take the async.
Oh, okay.
It's going to fetch from Amazon again.
Just the ASIN, right?
Yeah, just the async. That's it.
Okay. And then this, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So anyone who wants.
Enter.
Yep.
Hit enter. And now it's fetching the images.
Okay.
And in the first step, you select the images. You can do a maximum of 7. That's it. And then after that, you can also reorder if you want. And this has to do with an optimization step in the next phase. If you see like, hey, I have to change the order because it seems to work better. So then that's how you do it.
Okay, so there's my 7.
Now you have 7. That's done.
That's good.
Yeah.
So anyone who watched me doing this manually, I manually downloaded everything, re-uploaded it.
Yeah.
So this just saved me 15 minutes just on that one listing.
There you go.
Beautiful. Okay, and then now we grab some more competitors.
Now we have to go to Data Dive, and we have to select from the Deep Dive. We have to select stacks that are different in presentation. So for me, this one, oh no, this is a different product, but it does stand out, like the way with a lot of like children and the nature, maybe that, or maybe another one. So you have to decide, it's kind of like the balance between, you know that this is a very good competing or selling product, but besides that, it's also presentation-wise totally different.
Yeah.
And it will give you insights that are relevant because people are responding to like, hey, this is the preferred stack.
Yeah.
I like this stack over the other. And then they explain, and this image was decisive for making this stack the best. And the same applies to the one that they don't like.
Okay.
Yeah,
like
and we always say like do 3 stacks, you can do 2, but it doesn't make much sense because if someone is choosing one stack, then it will always end up in the other one being negative. So the same applies, by the way, to A/B testing. I find that as a failure, like of course.
Right. So I'm gonna, I think this stack looks very unique, so I'm gonna grab this one. The cool thing with Data Dive is it's showing us in here, anyone who's in red is doing extremely well. This is a very competitive niche, so there's a lot of sellers that are very well optimized from the standpoint of how the listing is written, but images, so here we can pick what we think are strong competitors from a visual standpoint.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And now you see something, by the way, that Anthony is taking 6 images compared to 7. It doesn't matter. It's not a quantity contest. It's all about images. And people will just say, so there might be bias. For instance, people might say, I prefer stack C because it's pink. The other one are green, so I prefer pink. We have to kind of push through that. So let's say that the balance to pink is going as a winner.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have to change the stack again. And then you might say like, oh, but this is going to be a costly thing. Well, again, step in the shoes of the consumer. They are doing the same thing. They are clicking boxes and they are doing stuff. They are clicking over listings in their information gathering process. You have to simulate that. So that's what I recommend.
And is 3 the ideal number? Could I add more than 3 if I wanted?
No, 3 is the number for the stacks that we use. And the amount of respondents we always recommend for this one is 90. So that's good. It's already by default.
Okay.
I see you're selecting you did the search in Google. That's quicker to find. Oh, that's a good tip, by the way.
What's that?
I think you did a search you search for
age.
Oh, that's what you did. So that's why it's highlighted yellow. Ah, that's nice.
Easy.
New to me, I never use it like that. So if I'm sitting behind the screen, I'm much quicker. I have to say, like sitting next to it and then follow what you're doing.
Yeah.
It kind of freaks me out. It's kind of I'm also in the car, like sitting next to someone who's driving. I'm always like almost holding the glove box and try to. Oh,
I love it. So we're all set with this one, right?
We're all set. Yeah,
okay,
this
cool.
is good. So again, you have to use the code. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Now,
so this, every time it's just going to get faster and faster. This is really easy to set up. And these things are just going to run in the background and they're going to bring me the data that I need.
exactly.
Okay.
So for today, we cannot go further than this.
Yep.
This is to set up 2 polls. We will dive into the details in the next session.
Yep.
And going to read it. And I think we have to do it live. Because if I prepare it, then you will see me going very quickly through the results. I think it's even better to do it step by step.
Yeah.
And see us reading it.
Yeah.
That makes it really intuitive, and it also gives you confidence that you can do it yourself.
And then what about is there anything we can test right now, do a similar baseline or an image, like how we did the image stack baseline, but do like a main tile baseline?
Of course, we can do it.
Can we add that on as well?
Go.
Because what I'm going to take this is my hypothesis, is I spent 3 hours going through and doing manual image categorization, manual image scoring and concepting. And you could see we already put out like a V1 of the results. What I'm guessing is between these 3 tests, the team is going to have so much more to work on. We're going to use that to create the V2, V3, V4 of these.
Yeah. I have to say this because people are following this. It's kind of like a course that we're providing now. Like, these are the steps I recommend following. So you're now like excited to do it.
Yeah.
The reason why I would hesitate not to do it, so my reason not to do it is because the purchase variable is going to give me insights and the instack poll as well.
Okay.
I think I will come to a point that I already know I'm going to change the main image a little bit.
Yeah.
Based on what I learned so far. And then I'd rather spend the money in an optimized process in the marketplace pool for main tile instead of grabbing insights right now. Because it's a money saver. Right?
You're saying it's just a little excessive because we're going to probably have a lot of ideas for main image just based on what we've tested here.
What we did right now will give you so much insights. And as said, it's simulating the journey. It's like looking at the main tile. What would be your main reasons not to buy? Then looking at the listing images, what would be your reasons to buy?
Okay.
So then it comes together. And to me, like, I think it's kind of like again, it's a waste of money. It's nice to do, and I understand it because it's always very nice to see all those insights, but I recommend not do it. We can show how to do it, but then leave it as a draft.
Okay. Which one would be the best?
And then it's about, so you went to growth hacking, is that correct?
Yep. And then optimize CTR?
Exactly. And then who's winning clicks now? So that's aligned with the concept. So who's winning clicks now? It's aligned with the concept that you say like, okay, exactly the way it is. Who's winning clicks now? But as said, purchase variable and image tag poll is already uncovering a lot. But here you pull the main competitors close to the search term that might be the most dominant one, like the most used one.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And this is where we spoke about context, by the way, Anthony. So
right.
I said a lot like the digital shelf. Maybe you can describe better that's how I see that. But so the digital shelf is if you type in a search term, let's say binocular, But if you say binocular green, it already shifts the results. So
Right.
if you want to place it into context and get a test that's relevant for your case,
Yeah.
for your product, you have to think about who are your main competitors.
Yeah.
So how do you approach that?
I mean, largely I'm going to look inside a data dive, and I'm just going to see, based on what people are searching for, who's dominating the performance on that niche, who's getting the most sales. That's really what I'm going to be looking at.
Yeah, but you will get to a point that you can narrow it down and get to a point like, oh, wait a minute, if I make the search to a little bit long term, I see some competitors that can beat easily. So that's a really good approach for start.
Okay.
That's how I like to do it, because otherwise, if you're always in the most competitive space and you have so many options,
Yeah.
it's quite hard to beat that.
Right.
So you need to find a point. But which one would you choose based on data dive?
For the number one competitor?
Yeah. So again, we have to use our own product that we chose, the green one.
Okay.
That's our start.
It's this one here.
And we missed one important step, by the way. This poll type again starts with giving it a name,
Yep.
generate a situation.
So I'm going to copy the situation from over here.
Yeah.
And so everyone, I think you've already heard me mention this case study that we did with Share at Studio. Intellivy was actually a part of that early on, doing, not as early on as I would have liked it. I think we're going to have to do another case study where we start with this process from the very beginning. But from what I'm seeing, this seems pretty reasonable in terms of price. I think the first poll was like a little over $100. The second one was like around $150. So if you think about that case study, I mean, we went from like $250,000 a month to $700,000 a month. So if the brand makes sense and you've got the money, then go for it. But I like that Peter's shooting straight with you here, and it's like, if you don't need to spend the money,
Don't.
don't get value out of
Don't.
the tool as needed. Okay, cool.
And the thing is also like polling in general. So I said it in the start. Polling is part of market research, but it's not just about winning. So let's say for the binocular, let's say that material is a very important topic. So that the buyer of binoculars is finding it important, like the material has to be, how do you call that, with plastics, that it doesn't contain...
Lead.
Yeah, lead, for instance. So let's say that's a very important thing. Now, if you go to change your images, so you're going to say to your designer, like, hey, listen, image number 2 has to communicate something about the material that is non-lead.
Yeah.
Then you know what your briefing is. So then you go to Intellivy again, you test it. Now, let's say that you are losing 30 and the other one is getting 40 and whatever. So you're saying like, oh, bad job. No, that's not true. You have to dive into the results and see if the non-lead plastics is coming across. And if that's working, in my opinion, you're doing a good job. That's optimization.
Okay.
And then you have to check, like, why is the other winning? There might be an element that you can compete. It's not even possible to compete with that. So that might be, it's fine. That's fine. You know your approach. So you know that your story is solid from start to purchase. It's solid.
Right.
You're guiding your buyer and helping them make the decision easy.
Makes sense to me.
So
okay.
You have to,
so this is our ASIN?
Yeah.
Okay, I already clicked enter. Learning the UI, so this is getting easier every time.
Differently. I see what you do now. So this is interesting. He's just going and so you can close this.
Okay.
What you did is you chose the blue button, search competitors.
Okay.
So within Intellivy, you can also search competitors, kind of like the way Data Dive is approaching that. But now you can just simply add products, and then you can see the same as you saw with the purchase parity poll, the image tag poll. Hit the ASIN, hit enter, and it's fetching the product again. And then you get the full tile, and you can change all the elements within that tile, like title, image, price, everything. We just leave it the way it is.
And how many can I, up to 6 for this?
Yeah, up to 6.
Okay,
so
awesome.
Here we have to continue with the other products that are the competing ones.
Okay, so
and instead, I think we have to leave it as a draft. And then coming from the other polls, the insights that we get, we can change the main image a bit and maybe even change the title a bit and address a certain benefit or something like that. Because we will learn from the other polls that might be important and then test it.
Okay, super cool. So let's see. For this, I'm going to try to get some different, unique, like this one has the product packaging on here. Again, all of these are red, so these are, their performance is strong on Amazon.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be open to letting me actually run this one just to see what the results are?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. But there are some things that so now my specialty, I see a lot of things now. You know, I have experience, of course, with polling. I see so many poll results, so I read them so many times. And what Anthony is doing now, I see, for instance, that the first one is priced $22 and the second one is $9. If you just leave it away that way, it will definitely do something. So what will happen is that maybe option B is losing because of price, or it's winning because of price. I don't know, but price is a very strong element in here.
I'm interested to show this, yeah, because this niche, as you've seen in office hours before, there's a big disparity. Some people, and this is why I really want to get in touch with the US seller, because I don't think they can sell this product for $7, $9. And so I'll be interested to see, in addition to what they see from the images, how much do reviews come into play? How much does price come into play?
Absolutely, but it will definitely give a very broad scope of insights. So if you blur the price and you blur the ratings, and you just focus on title and images, you get more product-related information.
So maybe for all of these, I do blur price.
You might do it, because otherwise it's going all over the place. It will just happen. So I know for sure that if you get results in, that price will be a very strong element, which is fine. And price will be related to what people see. So it gives kind of like a premium feeling, or it looks too cheap. People are going to say something like that. Now, if you leave the price out of it and also rating, so you can blur stuff. And then I also recommend, because although it's blurring, the fourth option is showing just 1 star less. I do see from respondents sometimes, although it's blurred, this one has less reviews. So what you can do is edit that and then push it up to 4.5. So edit it and then push it up to 4.5, just to make sure that you have it, and also make this 3 numbers of 4. So make sure that although it's blurred, give them the same amount of numbers, the same amount of reviews.
So it all looks the same.
This one looks more, you see? So if you make this 1 digit less, that's it.
Okay, cool.
It's also part of it, you know?
Oh, good. Okay, so that was super easy. Now we've got all of these images, but we're isolating just the visuals.
Yeah, so you have 5 items, then you get the segmentation part again.
Okay. So
and then finally we have to go to the amount of respondents, and we recommend in this poll type 30 respondents per image.
Okay.
30. So you have to do the math. And then again, so Anthony, you made a decision now to do the marketplace poll.
Yep.
And that's fine.
Okay.
But as said, in the process that we just recommended, it's not needed. So by starting with the purchase parity poll, then wait. So normally I wait. I can say like first the purchase parity poll.
Yep.
Because it's already going to give me insights. And if I just check the listing, I can already see, oh shit, I'm not encountering this objection.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing it like this. This is way, it's absolutely the opposite of what people want to see. So I already see some ways to improve. So that's kind of giving me some steps in optimization, spending money, getting results, bring it to the next level, So now we are doing it all at once, which is nice.
And how long are these typically going to take to run on average?
So you're using, for all the poll types right now, you're using the segmented audience. So that's our different user base. We have a member base of 55 million. It's in the United States, it's 28 million. It will be in a few hours and then maximum day.
So do I do 30? Is this where I change the 30?
It's the 30 recommended number per item. So you have five items, you have to do the math.
Okay, so 5 and 30 is 150.
Exactly. You have it, and then the code again. Oh. No, I see. What is it? Oh.
I might have had a typo.
Oh, I know why this is happening. So this is because of it's used twice maybe in the account.
Okay.
Okay. Now, okay, that's just a part for this recording. That's not.
To blur.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, look, everyone, you got to go. We'll have a special coupon code that you can use to get some access to Intellivy. And so, big shout out for Peter for letting me spend a bit of money here. But we're going extra deep. So
it's like
he's making it rain.
No, it's great. Let me just pause for a moment, and that's easy. Then I create the coupon code, and you can finish that screen.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's do it.
Amazing. And so the thing about this is, I mean, we were taking some time to explain all of this, but realistically, we're talking a matter of minutes to set up these polls. And so, especially if your team is not, I've been doing conversion optimization, visual optimization for years. And so I think even your team trying to go through the SOP and the process that I shared earlier, going and just spending the money working with Intellivy on this, probably going to get you better results, and it's going to be faster. And what I like about this is we're going to go back down to the conference. I'm going to be talking to people at the booth, and then I don't do anything. I come back in a few hours, and now we've got this report. And so that's, like I said, you have two inputs in the business. You have time and you have money. So if you're able to put a little bit of investment into optimizing these, probably going to be worth it. At least give it a shot.
Okay, almost done.
Cool. And for some context too, I mean, it's not a small niche. The total market cap of this niche is about 1.1 million a month. And so for this seller, the one we're modeling, or any of these sellers, if they're able to squeeze that market share up to 10%, we're talking 100 grand a month in sales. So just got to ask yourself how much it's worth.
Exactly. And I used it in my presentation yesterday, so I spoke about the fees that comes with stock.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you might say like, it's never going to reach 365 days, but it's multiplying by 6,000%.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. So if you're selling a binocular.
Yeah. And if we're able to get in touch with this US seller, my guess is they can't sell at this low price point. So how do you justify a higher price point item? You got to have better creative. I'm missing a Q. All right, so thank you again for that, Peter. This is super helpful. And let's check out. I think we're all set to go. Question field I'm missing.
Oh no, not again.
I thought I...
Yeah, but it is like, so if you're placing something in the field and you stay with your mouse in there, you really have to go out of it. So there's no button as submit. So this is UX, of course, a UX thing.
Yeah.
So you have to fill in, you have it still open in the results.
It's not the situation?
No, of course, that's the question.
Did I just put it in the wrong spot?
No, you type, no, it's good. Sorry, my mistake. You have to fill in which of these products would you buy and why. That's the question. Which of these products would you buy and why? That's it. I'm sorry.
No problem.
A situation, but it's not situation.
Okay. And so now we're going to do that coupon again.
Do it again.
I think I got it here.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, I really like very easy toggle to blur out the reviews and to blur out the price. So I think we've got everything we need now. If we were going to do that in a speed round as fast as possible, I'm thinking maybe 30 minutes for setup for all three of those polls. And like Peter was saying, you really only need to be running two at this stage. So what I would do here is, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I can see I've already started to get some responses. I'm going to check back on this in a few hours, hand it over to the creative team, and then we'll keep the video going on this. Any last words here, Peter? Just on this stage?
The best thing is that I just enjoy the energy. Like,
heck yeah!
You did this. Like it started with what is it? You texted me via Messenger this morning.
Right.
Like knowing that we have the space here for Intellivy Labs. We are doing Intellivy Labs sessions, market research with sellers sitting down here and do the same thing. And now I'm doing it with you, so it's awesome, And we are open to do this to everyone. Like, reach out to us. We want to help you to use market research, consumer insights to get your listings to the next level.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, I'm super glad we were able to do this in person. We're going to cut the video for right now, but there's going to be some subsequent parts that we're going to record after. And of course, we're going to have a whole SOP that walks through this process of using Intellivy's approach for market research and how that relates to click-through and conversion rate optimization. Thanks so much, Peter. It's been super fun. We'll see everyone soon.
Bye.